Is Takashi Iizuka keeping secrets from us? I was just here, waiting off the stream, eating my dinner, relaxing, only to find out from Mr. Premier de Remy himself that Sony has an entirely different trailer on their YouTube page. The one on the left is one that we see in Sonic Central, but this one here is, I don't know, it's entirely new. Oh, the Sunset Heights. Oh shit. Oh shoot. Sonic Generations. What does it mean by enter a new dimension? Enter a new dimension. That's Space Colony off. Or are they they're talking about like the haptic feedback. Hey, what was that? I guess they're just holograms? Oh, I don't know what, but they're holograms or something. Where is this? What level is that? Okay. I have so many questions. Is this different from the Generations fight? Because I don't remember Sonic getting pushed back in the cutscene for that. So is this the Shadow Generations one? why, why does he sound? Why does he sound like he's being pitched up the? They speed up the video and forget to mute it. What are these full pipes? They're like putting us in tubes now. It kind of reminds me of Speed Highway. The part where um, Sonic runs through that tunnel and you can kind of like run all the way around it. Yeah, they like putting you in tubes in this game, huh? It feels a bit like Sonic Lost Worlds in that respect. But at the same time, it kind of feels like what is it? The special stages from Knuckles Chaotix? I don't know. If you know the special stage I'm thinking of, where like they're running around in like a full pipe, let me know. Sunset Heights. That really cool segment. Next generation nostalgia. To be honest, I'm not like super nostalgic about Sonic Generations. It wasn't my favorite Sonic game. It was cool, but I feel like Sonic Heroes about it. Which I don't know why I don't like Heroes that much, but I don't know. I feel it gives me the same feeling. Um, but at the same time, I appreciate it for like you get to see all the characters again after such a long time. Um, and then they talk about the past, and then they're redoing it now to kind of like see how it works for Shadow. So I think it's kind of interesting. I will give Sonic Generations a fairer chance now that I can actually play the game with audio, because for some reason, no matter which TV I tried it on, my version of Sonic Generations for the Xbox just didn't have sound or like music, backtrack music. It was just silent. That's how I made that one, I don't know, random boost video that I made. A little bit of lore for iCap Free. It's literally just some boxes and pipes. Like, where is this? Where am I? Look, they put the boys back in the city. back in places with houses and stuff, rural areas. Wait, I mean like not commercialized, but where people live. Is that rural? I'm using words I don't know. They're back in the city. Look, Look, Sonic's in the city. Shadow's in the city. Shadow's in the city. Sonic's in acidity. You know, I just feel like there's an angle that they're trying to go down, and and I'm here for it. Put the boys back in the city. They escaped from it, but they'll have to return at some point. So now that I'm like thinking about this white space that they had in Sonic Generations, and how they're doing the whole 3D thing with Shadow Generations, I must question how they're gonna like lay it out, because I'm wondering if they're gonna have it be like, um, you know how you approach each section and like the platforms change and like the theming changes around it, reflecting the stage it represents. Are they gonna do the same thing for White Space for when Shadow gets near, I don't know, Kingdom Valley and it starts turning into like the Trials of Soleanna, or he goes to Sunset Heights and you see like all the villages, and they're all like anthropomorphic and Sonic styled. So like how's that gonna go? I'm pretty interested to see how that's gonna work. You know, this open world, open zone that we get to play about in. Is it just I'm excited to see how it goes, and it also like brings me back to the Death Egg robots, because if we're looking at this as like a sense of scale, there's unlike unlike City Escape on Sonic Adventure 2, we can kind of see the scale of this area, and like, you know, there's plots where buildings are, and like they're the size of buildings, and like these Death Egg robots are that big. So how long before we just get to run around that space? They're talking about a bonus stage for people who pre-order or something. So like, what is that stage gonna be? Is it gonna be Sunset Heights? You get to run around Sunset Heights and there's like collectibles and stuff, or how's that gonna work? I'm looking beneath where Shadow is now. I'm gonna zoom in and post, and you can see there's like, that's probably where like a building was, right? If there was like a structure there, and like you could enter it and like walk around the 1-to-1 scale of it, wouldn't that be cool? You just kind of get to free roam around the city. This is what I feel like they're pushing towards, but also including Sonic Heroes. Man, I'd like to make a point about the comics, because you do get to see the entire roster kind of like working together to try and solve an issue, and like their interactions and their relationships in the comics, and I'm wondering how they're gonna introduce that kind of attitude to the games, but also in the comics, that these things happen within inhabited locations like this. And you can kind of see the scale of like the Death Egg robot and like the destruction that they can cause, like seeing that in like a full narrative rather than just like a snippet of a level. That would be crazy. And so I'm wondering if they're gonna do a Sonic Heroes 2, but set it in the city, and like we see this scale of like destruction and stuff like that. But I'm also wondering if they're gonna keep it to be like, oh, Team Doc does like inner city missions because they work with the government. Detective Agency, Team Chaotix will do like, you know, fetch quests around the city, but it's less obnoxious than Sonic Heroes because you're not running through a level made to be ran through looking for something meticulously. I need to give Sonic Heroes another try. You know, Sonic and Co. will be the nature people because that's kind of who they are. They're like, oh, we love nature so much. That's why we go to like the islands. We'll go to the islands to be in the nature. And then we end up doing like supernatural stuff. We didn't even realize there were aliens here. You know, demons in the city, detective stuff with the detectives. I don't know. It's there's a lot to do. There's a lot to consider with this angle, this DC Sonic Heroes angle that they're kind of like looking at right now. So I'm excited to see what the comics are saying, because it seems like the media is talking to each other at the moment. But also, the white space. How are they going to lay it out? What is it going to look like? In fact, I know there are pictures. I should probably just look at it. I'm wondering now about like the placement of the Sonic and Shadow battle and how this begins in in the game, because the footage of Shadow fighting Doom feels like, oh, you've just kind of like a part that you feel familiar in. Now here's a part that you don't know about, so we're giving you a tutorial on how to fight and stuff. So that makes me think. It makes me wonder if, you fight Shadow as Sonic, you knock some sense into him, and then he has a tantrum. Or not a tantrum. He has like a PTSD episode, and then wakes up in the white space of his own before catching up with everyone. Because also, like, Time Eater, so he can just at any point be in the past and be caught up in the future. It's like, how would he go from Sonic Generations to Sonic and Shadow Generations and be in Chaos Island? Like, why does he know about Chaos Island? He doesn't. But, Doom might, because he might be using the Time Eater thanks to the Ancient's technology, because, he's an ancient power and he knows about the technology, maybe. But then that makes me question how Doom is linked to the Ancients, and, I'm not the Sonic theorist, I'm the Sonic speculator, so I'll leave that to someone else. Good stuff. Amazing day for Sonic. Amazing day for Shadow. Amazing day for the fans. A great showcase of what Sonic Team is capable of. It's nice to see them win again. Anyway, hit subscribe.